Hello, my name is TYlluan. I'm a solitary pagan witch. I'm an author and the founder of the Wolf and Howl Press. Today's little chat is about witches and reincarnation. And I really can't remember whether I've done a chat on this before, but it doesn't matter because it's just another little chat on our way down our spiritual path anyway. So, reincarnation. A lot of witches do believe in reincarnation. I can always remember my father telling me about it when I was young, and I suddenly thought, yes, that's it. But I have heard an awful lot of rather strange viewpoints about it along the years, so I thought I'd try and put forward, if you like, my own views. So, people will sometimes tell us if we struggle in this life, it's because we did something bad in the last life. People who are murdered were murderers in the last life, and so on, a sort of very grotesque profit and loss account, if you like, on the spiritual plane. I don't like that. I really don't. I don't think it works like that. I have a feeling that what happens is, when we pass over, we go to what I call the Summerlands. You may have a different word for it, but we go to some sort of halfway house, if you like. And it's almost like a debriefing period where the higher self decides, what am I going to learn next? And I think sometimes we have a choice. I think if we've behaved reasonably in this life, then we get a little more choice. It's a bit like taking a child to the sweet shop and saying, well, look, all right, you've been a good girl today. What would you like to choose? And if they haven't been a good girl, you say, no, here you are. A couple of licorice all sorts and you're done. You take the choice away. So I think we have a little bit of choice. We're debriefed. What did we learn from the last time round? Well, we might have learned that we were sorry come the end of our lives for certain things we'd done. We might have come to the end of our time on earth for this life and decided it was everybody else's fault it didn't go right. And I think whatever powers there are, and whatever powers are actually hidden within us, and that's another important point, because I do think up to a point we get a choice. We have a certain amount of choice. What would you like to learn next? Where would you like to be next? What would you like to learn? And the more we try, the more choice we get, the more experiences we have. Because for me, I think the whole point of this life and any other lives that we're blessed with, I think the whole point is learning. We need to learn. And it's a bit like saying, sometimes people will say, this is one of my great arguments, has been always with Mr. Penry, what about the essential soul? How can you have several lives? Because you only have one soul, which is his view. But to me, it's a bit like saying, for me then, I was born with one surname, what they called years ago my maiden name. And then when girls of my age married, they took their husband's surname. And if I married 3-4 times afterwards, which I didn't, but if I did, I would have had lots of different surnames. But the essential me never changed. Names might change, but I didn't. And I think it's the same with reincarnation. Lives might change, but the essential self does not. It's a difficult one, because I think there's been a growing interest in various Eastern beliefs and various, what I would call New Age beliefs, where people are coming up with things which are, beg your pardon, a little bit of one thing, a little bit of another. And it becomes like a sort of pagan porridge if we're not careful, you know? But that's my own belief, that we do have a little bit of choice. But the important thing is here and now. And the important thing is to try and learn all the time as we go along, to try and keep gathering experience, to try and keep gathering knowledge, but most of all to apply it so that it becomes not experience in one box and knowledge in another, but they blend together and they become wisdom. There's a wonderful saying, there is knowledge and there is wisdom, and the difference between them is compassion. And it's a very, very true thing. Growing with compassion, growing with experience, growing in knowledge, it's all part of what we're trying to do. And we do that. We don't have to be studying in the sense of going to college, going to uni. It can all be done. Each and every one of us can should and really must do it in this life so that we then have more choice next time round. Anyway, I do hope and wish you all a very happy lifetime and many lifetimes to come. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.